What happens when your Polaris breaks down in the middle of the job and you don't have time to wait for parts? Well, you fix it. Welcome to the Mr. Fix-It channel. Join me as I dive deep down this rabbit hole. So that's probably why it's stuck, because this is not very user-friendly. I'll tell you what, Polaris, man. Whoa! Well, I was out here plowing the driveway. We finally got our first significant snow, and I'm plowing the driveway with the old Polaris here, and pushed up against the mailbox, and it don't want to come out of gear. It's stuck in low forward range. I've already started taking this thing apart. Figure I'd catch this on video, see what we can find out, see what we can see. I gotta take the fuel tank out, get the wiring undone, pull that shifter out. I've had zero issues with this for years now. I guess it's only a matter of time before something broke. Man, nothing's ever easy with these things. Alright, so I got that thing off there. That was more work than it should have been. It's locked up. I don't know what's going on in here. These are metric or standard. The thing about this thing is it's got both on it. Real pleasure to work on. You know, stuff always breaks down when it's most inconvenient. It never happens when playing, or it doesn't really matter. It always happens when you're in the middle of doing something important. I wonder why that is. I don't know, maybe different for you guys, but for me, nothing breaks down when it's convenient. It's tight. Spring pressure on this, so rubber boots right in the way. Very well thought out design here. There we go. That should make it easier. It don't look great in there. There it started moving. So there's a little pin down in there. There's one of them. Whoa. That one just popped out and fell on the floor. That should be fun to find. Here's the two pins. I'm gonna take this apart. So there's a little spring right there. Another one on this side. Okay, that's stuck in there. There we go. There's the other spring. And there's that. And there's another pin right there. Now that comes out. There's a pin right in there. Get that out of there somehow. There don't appear to be any way to push it out of there. It's in a blind hole. Looks like it comes down to that. Main reason I want to take this apart is so I can clean it out. See if there's any damage on anything. See why it locked. That ain't doing nothing. Magnet maybe? No. Well, I don't get it. This is what's going to take all the time, is trying to figure out how to get that pin out. Yeah, there's rust down in there. The paw ain't moving freely. So I got to get this thing apart so I can clean it. Alright, so I'm going to stick this in the ultrasonic cleaner. Try to get all that grease out of there. Alright, so after a couple rides in the ultrasonic cleaner, get a good look at what's going on in here. I think that pin is supposed to just fall out, but because of the rust, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole right here and try to drive it out of the bottom, and I'll just seal this back up with some silicone. I just drilled a hole in the center of that thing and punched this out. So that's one way to get in there, and I'll just seal that hole back up. Okay. I'm going to pull these out. Yeah, look at all the corrosion in there. There we go. This little piece, that out. Alright, well, we got it disassembled. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all these parts up over at the wire wheel. So I'm going to go do that real quick. Alright, so got these cleaned up. After cleaning, you can definitely see all the corrosion that's going on in here. I'm assuming it's leaking past this boot down in the shifter, running down, and water sitting in the bottom of this, and it's rotting these parts out. And I think that's what my issue is. Rusty and it just locked up. So get this all cleaned up, get it back together. These have O-rings on them. I don't have any replacements, so I guess it just is what it is. So that's that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish cleaning this out. I'll probably throw this back in the ultrasonic cleaner now that it's all tore apart, and we'll go from there. That worked pretty good, drilling that hole through. Like I said, I'll just plug that back up with something. Alright, so what I decided to do here is tap this little hole and put a grub screw in it. Where are my little grub screw went? Alright, so I've lost my grub screw. Where did that go? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Must have rolled onto the floor. There, that should seal that up. Alright, so while that part's over there in the ultrasonic cleaner, I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of this apart here. Take the cap off. There's a Torx screw down in there. So as soon as I find my screwing device, like so, I can get this out of here. Let's see, where's my little tweezer device thing here? That screw out of there. Well, this should come off. Okay, that comes off. Now I can slide this doodad off of here. Alright. So that's disgusting inside there. Spring comes off. Pull that out. Pull that out. Okay, and then that comes off. Make sure I put it back on the same way. Okay, that'll go in the ultrasonic cleaner. That'll go in the cleaner. All these parts here will go in the cleaner. And lube everything up real good. Put it back together. see what other problems we got. I don't know. Looks like this pin is broken. That's supposed to be one piece, a rut row. Well, luckily I do have a spare one here, so I can salvage parts off of this. Go ahead and fix that. Alright, well, I'm not going to record, the ultrasonic cleaner running, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this off camera, and when I come back, all this will be cleaned up and we'll do the reassembly. Alright, so after the ultrasonic cleaner and everything's cleaned up, I can see. Alright, so I think what the problem, this is a detent. There's grooves in the shaft, and the detent rides behind a spring on this shaft, and this detent is all misshapen and galled. So that's probably why it's stuck. And so I'm going to go over here to the lathe and try to reshape this. Alright, so the lathe did a good job. This is nice and smooth, like a ball. Like, I think that's what it was to begin with. Yeah, I think that'll work fine. It'll probably wear down again. I already see some scratches on it just from doing that, but I guess it'll get me by a little bit longer. Alright, so I'm going to attempt to harden this piece. I don't know if it's hardenable or not. It should be hardened. If it's not hardenable, then it is what it is, but I'm at least going to try to harden it. Guess we'll find out what happens here. Just heat this sucker up. Go ahead and file check it. Oh yeah, it's hard. So it's hardenable. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that to the other one, and that should keep that from happening again. Okay, I'm gonna reassemble this thing now. Got both the pins hardened. That worked out good. I got my little grease puddle here. I'm gonna go ahead and grease these parts and put them back together. Some grease on this. This back inside. Some grease on this. So I'm just going to use this moly grease here. Go ahead and make that slide real nice in there. Put some grease on there. Put that in. Okay, now the pin. Just a little dab on this. Drop this pin in. These got to be lined up. Detent pins, we'll put some grease on them. These go in these holes. And the springs, a little grease on the springs. Those go in there. And now the next thing is these two little springs. Put some grease on those. These go here. Okay, now this cup, grease this thing up. It goes there. That. Take the springs back out. Slip that down in there. Now the springs may go in. Yeah, okay. So the springs in after that. I don't want to go in there. This is where it shoots across the shop. And I never see it again. Whoa! Alright. Well, that didn't work. Well, shit. Nothing's working out for me here. I'll tell you what, Polaris, man. Why would there be a groove on one side but not the other side? I'm doubting they sell parts for this and they want to say the entire thing, because this is not very user friendly. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut a little groove on the other side for the other spring. A little round file here. Try to make a little groove in this. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. That worked nice. Now I just need to reassemble the shifter part of it. Put this through here. Get the part that fell on the floor. The spring goes on. Slip that back on. Okay, got our salvaged pin. We'll slip this in there. Now this pin sticking through here rides on these two springs, and that's what gives you your, that's what centers it. So I'm going to take all this grease here. I'm just going to stuff it in the hole. Set this in there. Like so. Slide this down. A lot of spring pressure here. Alright, there's one screw started. See if I can squeeze this together enough to get that screw started. Next screw. Alright, last screw. About this time is when you find out you forgot to put a part in there. Okay, there's that much of it. Yep, I did forget a part. Son of a... Well, at least check, see if it's going to work. So that should be neutral. Low range. That works nice. That should be forward, high range, neutral, and reverse. Alright, I think it's working now. Now I gotta take the top back off and put the switch back in it. Alright, putting the switch back in. There's a hole down inside there. I'm sure this has got to be oriented in the correct direction. So what's going on here? Let's have a look. Okay, so it looks like it goes like that. As you move this, that's what actuates the switch. Reverse and neutral. Yeah, I think the water gets in right there. That's all done, so go back over here to the ATV and we'll put it back together. Nothing to it but do it. Hook this wire up, make sure my reverse light and everything is working. I'll feed this wire back through here. If I can remember where these go. Alright, reverse, neutral. Alright, we're good. Okay, I got the switch and the shifter worked out. So it's doing what it's supposed to do now. That's tight. There's literally no wiggle room. Man, that was an adventure. I wasn't expecting to get into all of that. But I tell you what, everything works. I didn't have to spend any money. And if you guys have made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.